Hey y'all, I'm Alexandra and I'm a Pittsburgh-based photographer who loves spending time in the outdoors, often solo backpacking, camping, and otherwise adventuring outside of my comfort zone. In today's video, I take a road trip stop in north central Florida to do some primitive camping, hiking, and kayaking, all while on the hunt for some of this region's most interesting flora and fauna. But first, let's get camp set up. So I just got all set up at Paynes Prairie Preserve State Park here in Florida. What drew me to this state park is actually these walk-in campsites. Right now I'm the only person in this whole area and it feels like I'm just in like peak Florida nature. Compared to what I normally do backpacking, I consider this very much glamping. I have one of these Insta tents that's like a 3 or 4 person tent just for myself. So it's about 2 o'clock. So the plan is to just do some hiking. The other draw of this state park that I'm super excited about is they have wild bison and feral, I think is the right way to put it, horses. As well, of course, we're in Florida, so there's massive alligators and all kinds of birds and reptiles. Our first order of business is to bike to the visitor center and observation tower, which is where we might see some horses and bison. So let's go. I already saw a tick just when I was setting up camp, so safety first and comfort. Here's my other safety thing is I have already given myself a sunburn just being in Florida for a day, so the sun shirt is coming on. Fashion. Do I look like a Floridian yet? So I grew up in South Louisiana, but I have lived elsewhere since I was 18. So I love coming back to this kind of nature because it just feels so different from what I'm used to in Pittsburgh, but it also kind of feels like home. Guy I just talked to said he saw just about everything you come out here to see, but he had a big long scope, so if there is anything, it must be way out in the distance where I can't see it with my eyes. Big old pile of some sort of poop. You know, something's out here. So a guy just passed me by on a bike and that made me realize you can bike on this trail. I didn't realize that, so I'm gonna go get my bike. All right, take 2. I did a little bit of research and a lot of people were saying it gets rough to where I wouldn't be able to do this without like fat tires, but I'm gonna try and just see what happens. Not too bad. I just have to go slow and make sure I don't slip. I encountered sand, so I'm gonna walk a little bit and then bike back. So I need to take a break for a little bit, and then I'm going to do a little bit of research and try to figure out what else I want to do. Tonight, it's about 5 o'clock. I think sunset is not until about 8:15. So I want to figure out if there's any other trails like I really need to hit today. Decided to do the Bowling Bluff Trail, which was only about a 5-minute drive outside of the campground. So it's another area where the horses and bison and potentially alligators could just be roaming free. There's an observation tower at the end too, so if they're out there in the prairie, I'll have a better chance of being able to see them. One of my favorite things is seeing different kinds of wildlife, and I've seen horses and bison before, but not in Florida. Weird, I'm just out here completely alone. Look at all this. The whole prairie. It's all mine. Guys, the bison are out there. The whole herd of them. There was just a fat old rattlesnake right on the trail, and he honestly scared the shit out of me. And I picked up my camera, I tried to take a picture of him, but he was already slithering away, but also looking back at me like he was daring me to try something, and I was not gonna try something, not with that big boy. So I'm trying out these thermocell things they're supposed to work for mosquitoes. I was using them in Louisiana, and I do think I noticed a difference, like a pretty significant difference, honestly. I was just starting to get completely eaten up. They essentially just like heat up a little cartridge of repellent. So today I'm just having just instant rice, but risotto. So this should be quick and easy. So I'm gonna set up camp before I shower so that I don't get all re-sweated. So this is a recent addition that I got for backpacking, but it's comfortable for this too. So it's my Nemo tensor sleeping pad. This is not sponsored, but I did just start trying these Kuju disposable pour-over coffee packets, and they are so good. I am a little bit of a coffee snob, and I like to treat myself when I can, and these are so convenient for camping and backpacking, and they're the same quality as any other pour-over coffee that you'd make at home. So I figured I'd at least try one more time at the observation tower to spot horses or any sort of birds or other wildlife that I didn't see yesterday. And then it will be about a 45-minute drive to Silver Springs for the glass bottom boat tour.
bunch of deer.
So now we're at Silver Spring State Park. I made sure to get here bright and early for the first extended glass bottom boat tour, which is one of the things the park is well known for. I was on the fence about kayaking after the tour just because of the heat. It was going to be an 100-degree day. I wasn't sure if I had it in me. What sold me was the fact that the tour guide said that actually yesterday they had seen one lone manatee who had probably gone back to the springs to give birth before returning out to the ocean. Silver Springs is one of the places the manatees go in the winter because the water in Silver Springs is a consistent temperature all year round. It is rare to see manatees in the springs this time of year because they have returned back out into the ocean, but the tour guide said that they had seen one yesterday, and so I did not want to miss the chance of possibly finding her somewhere out beyond the limits where the tour goes. The other thing I had been hoping to see is the famous Silver Springs monkeys. So the story is that in 1938, a tour boat operator released a colony of rhesus macaques onto an island, thinking that the monkeys would not be able to swim. Now, of course, monkeys can swim, and so they very quickly spread out, and they still live in the Silver Springs area to this day. I decided to do the 5-mile kayak to the end of the kayak trail, where I was then shuttled back. It ended up taking me maybe about 2 hours, and it was one of the cooler experiences I have ever done. It was just incredible to be so immersed in this jungle-like environment. There were times when alligators were swimming right next to my kayak. I got to see armadillos on the shore and all kinds of birds. I didn't see any of the cool things I was just talking about. No manatees, no monkeys, but it was still an absolutely worthwhile experience.